So you're thinking about moving to Deerfield Beach, Florida, or maybe Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and the surrounding areas. In this video, I'm going to be showing you Deerfield Beach, give you a lay of the land, where everything is, so that way you know where to go, whether it's for nightlife, entertainment, dining, anything you need to know about Deerfield Beach. Now, whether you're thinking about moving here in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All the information is down below in the description, so either myself or anyone on our team can assist you. Now, I'm going to show you everything about Deerfield Beach on the Google Maps, so let's go ahead and jump into my computer. Okay, so this is Deerfield to give you an idea of its borders. Deerfield Beach is the city directly below Boca, and it's squeezed between Boca and Pompano Beach. There are a lot of advantages to living in Deerfield, especially because it's located just south of Boca, so you can easily access like the shopping centers and just the entertainment there. But Deerfield does have its own downtown and city nightlife and just restaurants, so it can be really, really fun just even being in Deerfield alone. So this is the perimeter. It is a smaller town, and it does have a lot more of industrial part on the western section of Deerfield Beach, which I will point out, but I also do want to give you an idea, kind of taking a further look away, zooming out here. So here's Deerfield Beach. Okay, this is where Fort Lauderdale is, just south of that, and then Miami. So you're much closer to Palm Beach and to Boca than you are to like Fort Lauderdale or Hollywood, Dania Beach, and of course, especially Miami. So you can really bounce between Boca and Fort Lauderdale if that's what you want, but you're much closer to Boca in this case. You're basically on the northern border of Broward County. And then once you cross the line into Boca, then that's technically Palm Beach County. Now, I want to kind of take a closer look. So here is here's US 1, which is kind of the faster way to get to Deerfield Beach if you are coming from either Pompano or Fort Lauderdale, because you don't want to go all the way out to the 95 up and then cross over. So it's much easier to just cruise north and south along US 1. And then give you an idea, here's like the 95 freeway, but along US 1, you can actually find a lot of shopping right here on US 1. And then this is kind of their beach side, which we'll go in a little further in a moment. So here is US 1. This is the border between Boca and Deerfield, and primarily Broward. So over here, if you are on the northern part, it is Broward. If you're over here, you are in Palm Beach County. So if, let's say, for example, you are cruising up north US 1 and you want to get to the beach, then you're actually going to go ahead and take Hillsborough Boulevard out to the beach. And here, taking a closer look, like let's pretend you are, again, driving north on US 1 and you make a right on Hillsborough Boulevard, then it's really picturesque. It's, condos kind of along here. This is primarily residential, a lot more homes, some condos and townhomes here. As well as over here, and then some kind of residential home, single family homes there. But overall, these are homes on this. They actually call it the Cove. This is like the neighborhood, the Cove. It's one of the nicer areas of Deerfield, primarily because you have the waterfront property, so they're more expensive. But you're cruising along here, and it does kind of curve. On the weekends, there will be traffic because everybody's heading over to the beach. But this is where you're going to find restaurants, where you're going to find beach stores. Flanagan's is here. and you can really enjoy a great meal along the beach side. And the only way you can really even see the beach when you are cruising along A1A on this end is if you are at one of the hotels, one of the restaurants here in your dining, you can actually see the beach, unless you do, of course, go to the pier. Now the pier, you can't see from here, so let me zoom in a little bit more. Here it is. So when you are at the pier, of course you can see it, but more importantly, if you kind of park on the southern part, because again, like I said, if you're on the street and you're kind of curving, you're not really going to see the pier. You just kind of keep going along and you see like JB's on the beach. That's a really fun spot, actually. A lot of people love that one. If you park, there is parking. For example, this parking spot, you can walk and then you'll like see the beach. So it's a lot more beach, because you can even see the curvature here. So see how it kind of curves into the pier, and then it's just all these like restaurants. So you can't really see when you're on North Ocean Drive, also known as A1A. But if you actually park on the south side, and you can actually get to enjoy the beach, that's where most people, you know, are with like families and hanging out and on beach chairs and really enjoying the actual views of the beach. It's going to be in this southern part of Deerfield Beach. Now, if you noticed, Deerfield Beach doesn't have a huge beach. Most of it is either Boca or Hillsborough Beach or Lighthouse Point or even Pompano. So they really only have this section of a beach for Deerfield Beach. So it's very dense right here, and that's where it is really, really busy. Parking can be difficult. So I did show you one spot, and they're kind of scattered as well when you're there, but there's also like a parking structure. It can get really busy, but here, right here on this curvature, there's also a parking structure. I think it's like it's several floors, so it's not that difficult. Otherwise, if you start cruising this way, it's primarily valet. So keep that in mind if you are in this area. Now, if you are looking for some shops, and let's pretend you're living in Deerfield Beach, a lot of the stores are going to be located on US 1. So for example, between this stretch right here, as you can see, of course, there's a Target, but it's a huge shopping area here. And overall, there's like plazas lined up on the sides. There's even another shopping center right here, including there is a Starbucks in this shopping area. There's also a Starbucks within this Target. So this is kind of really where people end up shopping. For example, of course, there is Sprouts Farmers Market. Winn-Dixie is also like another grocery store, and even like Aldi, but this is for the most part where people end up shopping. There is some other shopping, for example, over here in this area, on the other side of the 95 freeway, as well as here. For example, there is a second Target within Deerfield Beach. It's the only what city that I know, especially if they're so close. So if you don't find something in the Target that's located on US 1, then you can end up going to here, this Target. This is the shopping center also off of Powerline Road. So really there's a lot. There's that one, there's this one. There's this one. So it's really spread out because Deerfield Beach is so much bigger when you go more west. Now, there is a little bit more of an industrial part. There are like pockets and sections of Deerfield Beach. For example, there is also like an Amazon distribution center and a Publix distribution center very close to Pompano Beach as well. So in terms of residential areas, it is a little bit more between the beach, well, just kind of right here in the Cove. But again, between US 1 and the 95, and then it kind of gets sporadic around here. They do happen to have a golf course, Deer Creek Golf Course, which you can see from here. They don't have too many, but since you are between Boca as well as Pompano, there are plenty of golf courses surrounding you, including Royal Palm. That one's a bit more exclusive, higher fees to get into, but you can see from all this greenery, there are many other options as far as golfing goes. Now, if you are thinking of moving to Deerfield Beach and have a family, regarding the schools, unfortunately, they don't have the greatest rating according to greatschools.org. The elementary schools are typically 5 or 4 out of 10 rating, whereas the middle schools generally tend to be a 3 out of 10, and even Deerfield Beach High School has a 3 out of 10. Again, according to greatschools.org, I would recommend Deerfield Beach being a great like starter home if you're looking for something inexpensive. Deerfield Beach does tend to be less expensive than, for example, Fort Lauderdale or even Pompano Beach. And of course, prices go up once you cross over into Boca. Deerfield Beach also has some great options if you're looking for investment property or maybe a second home, like you're looking for a condo, maybe just want the Florida living without that higher cost of living, and yet still have access to other cities such as Boca or such as Fort Lauderdale, or maybe even Pompano Beach or Lighthouse Point, which are great cities as well. So if you're thinking about moving to Deerfield Beach for schools, you may want to consider private. Just to give you an idea in terms of pricing, and this is from personal experience, where you can end up purchasing, for example, like a villa in this general area just west of the 95 freeway. You could be looking at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath villa, which is basically, it's kind of like an attached house. It's still fee simple, which means you own it outright, but maybe it's like a quadplex where it's 4 units attached, but you own like your own section, so you're sharing walls, but it is technically fee simple, meaning you don't have associations. So something like that, you could be looking at more like 350,000, and that's a little bit more remodeled. If it needs some work, maybe 280, maybe 300. Or in this case, kind of going to the other side, closer to the cove, you could get right here, there's some townhomes, waterfront properties, which are great. Maybe like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, waterfront townhouse for about like 800,000. And square footage wise, about it was about 1,200 square feet when I was looking at that one. And the villa that I was referring to, that was about 1,300 square feet. So it is going to be very different whether you are looking at a dry lot on this side of the 95 freeway compared to maybe a townhouse, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, waterfront in Deerfield. Some of the waterfront properties here that are much larger in size, like those homes, are over 2,000 square feet, about 2,400 maybe even, or closer to 2,000, where they have a huge, just much bigger lot, a proper 3-bedroom, 3-bath house, closer to about 1.3 million. So waterfront, of course, is going to be more expensive, but if you are looking at maybe even just a condo, like here in Deerfield, let's say in this particular area, you could be looking at a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo for about 350,000. Of course, it's going to depend if it's like a nicer, newer building or maybe older one. But Deerfield Beach is going to be less expensive by far compared to Fort Lauderdale or even Boca. Now, I know I've kind of mentioned how living in Deerfield Beach, especially if you are in this northern part of Deerfield, you have access to Boca. I just want to point out how close that really is. So this again is the borderline of Deerfield Beach. If you were to be on that northern part, you can actually access Meisner as well as the downtown Boca area. It's this area. So here is the northern part of Deerfield. If you just go up US 1, that is literally 5 minutes. So you can see the advantage to living in Deerfield without having to pay for that Boca premium of living and owning in Boca. So that's actually one of the biggest advantages to Deerfield. Yet when you are in Deerfield, it's a more calm, relaxed, casual beach type of lifestyle. Now, if you did find this information valuable, please go ahead and tap on that like button. And if you are thinking of moving to Deerfield Beach or Fort Lauderdale and the surrounding areas here in Florida, then make sure to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All the information is down below in the description. And when you are here, hope to see you around town.